Hi, I'm John Hope. I'm one of the senior sales engineers here at Sophos. And today I want to talk to you about a survey that we recently conducted with Vanson Bourne, where we interviewed 3,100 prospect end users in various different verticals and various different countries all over the globe, ranging in size from between 100 and 5,000 seats. And we basically asked them, where do they see the challenges around IT security? And we can distill the results down into three key categories. The first is all about visibility. The second is around the threats, and particularly the increasing sophistication of threats. And then the third area of concern is all around performance. Or more specifically, performance at a price point which is accessible to these customers. Now, if we look at these issues in a little bit more depth, the first thing around visibility that we found is that somewhere between 45% and as much as 50% of applications flowing through a firewall are simply unclassified. And that can be because the traffic itself is encrypted, or it could be because the firewall simply doesn't have an application signature on record that matches the traffic that it's looking at. In addition, we also found out that on average 80% of the traffic is encrypted, which in itself leads to problems with visibility. When we look at the threats, Imitet is perhaps one of the best examples in recent times of malware which is constantly changing its underlying nature and characteristics to avoid capture. In fact, to put a number on it, Sophos labs see on average 300 variants that are new on a daily basis. And then when we look at performance, what we consistently find is even though great security scanning technologies exist, a large number of customers and prospects are not actually using those technologies, either because they're simply too expensive to acquire in the first place, or because they're too complex to configure correctly, or because enabling these security scanning technologies will impact network performance too greatly. What this boils down to is 96% of the people we spoke to were simply not using scanning for SSL traffic. We found that 62% were not using sandboxing technologies, and 37% were not even using basic security scanning technologies like IPS. Now at Sophos, this presents us with a fantastic opportunity because any vendor that can address these security concerns has a great chance to capitalize on the marketplace. So let's have a look at how we can address some of these concerns using our XG firewall. And also our synchronized security story. When it comes to visibility, thanks to our unique security heartbeat technology, a Sophos protected endpoint can constantly exchange application data with our XG firewall. And what that leads to ultimately is 100% of applications coming from a Sophos protected endpoint can be very easily classified. And more importantly, the administrator can report and place controls around those applications. When it comes to the threats, our Sandstorm technology, particularly because it has recently been enhanced with our machine learning technology, is a great place for us to stop new and unique variants of malware, because the XG firewall can selectively send that information off to the cloud and observe its behaviors. Furthermore, if the worst happens and one of our devices does become compromised in some way, thanks to synchronized security, we can put some controls in place and allow the XG firewall to block traffic which is coming from a potentially infected machine. In addition, with XG version 17.5, we also have lateral movement protection, so we can prevent that malware from propagating around the network, because using Sophos Central, we prevent that device from communicating with the rest of the network. If you want to know more about lateral movement protection, Anthony Mary has a great presentation on lateral movement protection. Now, let's have a look at the performance side of things, and more specifically, price and performance. If you look at the recent NSS Labs survey, Sophos already has a great story when it comes to price and performance. We're towards the top right of that diagram. It's worth knowing as well that because Sandstorm is a cloud-based technology, that can be deployed very easily with minimal impact on the local network performance. So that's a quick illustration of how we can deal with some of those security challenges today. But of course, our story will get even stronger when we release XG version 18. Some of the innovations that will be coming along as part of that release will be central reporting. And that will allow administrators not only to control their estate using Sophos Central, but also to get detailed reports on exactly what is happening in their environment. And thanks to some of the architectural changes that are coming as part of XG version 18, we'll be able to enable what's called stream scanning. So we will selectively scan traffic which needs to be analysed from a security perspective, but allow traffic which we know is clean and healthy to flow without inspection, thereby increasing the performance. And in addition, because the world has moved so much towards encrypted traffic, we will be enabling extreme SSL inspection to allow us to look into more SSL traffic with minimal impact on network performance. So hopefully that's a quick illustration of how we can answer those security concerns with our current XG and synchronized security story, and also an illustration how that story will improve when we release XG version 18. Thanks for watching.